The incidence of concussion rate has skyrocketed over the past couple of years, with little to no education about what to do and how to keep our junior and senior athletes safe. Luckily enough, we're partnering with the best allied health professionals in Australia. I'm going to hand it over to Cliff now. He's been helping us work out a way to keep our athletes safe, but also some tips to help you and your child to get the best outcome coming back from a concussion or a little head knock. I'll take it over to Cliff.
Cheers, Hayden. Yeah, absolutely. Concussion's a hot topic at the moment. And what we really want, we're in an elite gym, got a lot of young athletes, young star performers here. Concussions are going to happen, but we want to make sure that we're returning players to the sport that they love to do safely so they can do it for the rest of their lives. So the important thing as a parent, player, coach, or administrator is to be able to recognise a concussion. So we use the 4 R's when we talk about sporting concussion. So we talk about recognising the concussion. So did you see the concussion? Did you see the hit? And then is the child or player displaying signs of concussion? So dizziness, slurred speech, non-responsive, have they got a headache? Do they not remember what happened? So that would be indications to then move to the second R, which is to remove the player from the field of play. So getting the player off the ground as quickly as you can and making sure that you're taking them into a quiet space. At this point, we want to rule out anything serious and work out whether they've got to go to hospital or not. So we'd usually use the CRT6 here and look for the red flags. So things like increasing or really regular vomiting, an increasing headache, really weird behaviour or aggressive behaviour. If the player's knocked out and actually unconscious for any period of time, we would definitely be calling an ambulance for these guys at that point in time.
How often do you see people get this wrong, Cliff? Like, I know you deal with this a lot and there's not much education because the guidelines are so blurred. Is this something you see in a regular occurrence that people get wrong or they don't know what to do?
I think it's more that people don't know what to do. It's pretty rare that you get the parent that really wants to put their kid back on the ground. But I think it's just that there's a lot of hesitation from people. Maybe they're feeling the legal implications of removing a player or putting them back on the ground. Yeah, for me, it's more just people not knowing what to do. So using that CRT6, that's an approved tool from the AIS and from the concussion guidelines worldwide, that if you use that tool and interpret that correctly, then you're usually pretty safe and you're ensuring the safety of the player as well.
Yeah.
We always stand by the rule though, if in doubt, sit them out. That's the safest way to be. Yeah.
And like, just say for example, these procedures aren't taken with a grain of salt. What instances have you seen where there's some short-term but then also long-term effects for these kids and even like senior athletes going forward?
Well, I mean, there's that, the most dangerous thing and the thing that kind of people are now starting to talk about is second impact syndrome, which is where you're having multiple hits in a short period of time, say over a fortnight. That can actually be lethal.
Yeah,
so,
right.
there was an incident recently in Australia where a young footballer passed away. So we've just got to be really mindful that, child safety is paramount.
Yeah.
And maybe removing a player from a game means they get to come back and play the game they love down the line after rehabbing themselves.
Yeah. So even myself, like, I got knocked out pretty hard last year. It was the first real time I suffered with concussion symptoms that were pretty severe. I had no idea what to do. I've been playing sports my whole life. I probably done in the head a few times, not knowing what to do, and which led me onto Cliff. So when I messaged Cliff, I was didn't even know what day it was literally, and he helped me get through it all with the stuff that we do in the gym here and getting some advice from Cliff, also other allied health professionals. I had a really good outcome. Unfortunately, like, I've known people from my local club and kids that we train in here haven't had the luxury of doing that. So I hope like this video today is going to be a real eye-opener and bring some awareness that this is actually a serious thing. It's like we're seeing repeated professional athletes having their career cut short because they've had these impacts of concussion. So basically, like, my goal for getting Cliff in today is just to make sure it doesn't happen to any of our athletes or anyone else watching here. Cliff has, I'm not just plugging Cliff, but like just in terms of like the experience I had, he has all the technology available at his clinic. He's got the right staff around him. He works in with us as strength and conditioning staff and other people who are helping these athletes as well. The communication is very, very seamless and we get really good outcomes. Like, I'm not just saying that because he's next to me, I'm giving you my experience, and we're hoping we can actually work together with anyone else who's on board with this stuff to help kids get back to the sport they love doing, but also the safety of them outside of sport. Sport's only a small part of everyone's life, but some people, it's a massive part of everything they do in everyday life. So I appreciate Cliff coming down today, having a chat to us about that. And yeah, where can we find you, Cliff? Because like obviously you gave us some good advice, but like how can people out there contact you or to get your expertise or help them out?
Yeah, so we're part of the Melbourne Headache and Concussion Group. So we're down in Williamstown. We're situated in Williamstown Health and Lifestyle. So we're a multidisciplinary clinic down there. So you can give us a call. You can jump online. WilliamstownHealthandLifestyle.com.au. There's a plug for you. But and we can, we don't have to communicate in person. I mean, we communicated virtually. And we got you to do all the testing online. So as you say, we use the right equipment. Everything's objective, and everything's geared towards adhering to the guidelines and making sure that everyone goes back to the sports they love safely.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think that was a pretty like informative video. We reckon, Ben, pretty good. Give us a nod if it's good. Yeah, cool. Done. All right, Cliff.
Too easy, bro.
Thanks, appreciate it.
No worries, man.
No worries.
Easy peasy.